Barangay Ginebra San Miguel is the PBA's most famous team, and today I'm gonna do a logo redesign. Hello, I'm Casey and this is my YouTube channel. If you like logo design or graphic design, then welcome home. So why Ginebra? There are actually a lot of other different teams out there, other different logos, other brands that I wanted to do a redesign for, but I ended up going with Ginebra because I've actually been watching a lot more NBA games recently, and just seeing their logos, seeing how well made they are, I felt like I could apply that to the PBA teams that we have. And then after going through the logos, I saw the NLEX Road Warriors and I thought that it was very well done. Like, they had all the right elements for the logo to look good as a badge. So I thought, why not incorporate that for another team? And the team I'm most familiar with is actually Ginebra. I feel like their old logos, when they were called the Gin Kings and whatnot, had a lot of meaning to it, and I felt like I could reincorporate that into a logo redesign. I like their logo now. It's a nice word mark. It works very well on their jerseys, but I feel like it could have a little more character to it that I think the brand itself, the Ginebra San Miguel brand, the gin itself, has a lot to offer. I also chose this one because it's actually a little bit out of my comfort zone. I don't usually make badge type logos or logos that are this filled with color and character and images. Usually I make designs that are very minimal. So I hope to enjoy this and you enjoy it too. There will be 4 parts to this logo redesign video. So the first part, I'll be going through the history. I'll be going through the old logos of Ginebra. I'll be looking at the brand itself, talking about that and how I can incorporate that into the logo. And then the next will be the sketching part. So for the sketching phase, I'll just be showing my ideas, the rough drafts that I'll create, and just piecing together the main idea of how I'm gonna make this look like. And then for the digital, I'll be showing clips, videos of how I go through it, how I tackle and maybe make the logo transform as we go on. And then the last part will be the mock-ups. So seeing how the logo will look maybe on jerseys, on hardwood floors, on posters, billboards, and all those things. So let's go! The PBA team's name originated from San Miguel Corporation's gin brand, known for its image of San Miguel, the archangel, slaying the devil. The team wasn't always called Ginebra San Miguel, as it went through a lot of different name changes throughout the years. Although, the logos I'll be showing here are the logos the San Miguel team name went through. In 1985, the famous image on the gin drink can be seen within the logo, and as time went on, the color variation of the reds and yellows stayed strong. In 95 to 2000, except 97 to 98, when Ginebra was actually called the Gordon's Gin Boars, we can see that the angel with his wings were really used as a subtle touch on some of the logos. From 2000 to 2012, Ginebra became the Gin Kings and held one of the most iconic logos during their Fast and the Furious era, a fitting logo for champions. The current logo, which began in the year 2012 up to now, is a bit more tame with a simple word mark and layout design. I really love the 2000 to 2012 logo because there was a character to it, to being called the Gin Kings and that crown. I also appreciated the use of the Archangel San Miguel in the previous logos and the consistency of color usage all throughout. The current logo has a very strong typeface and clean layout, and I intend to put together these elements for the redesign. With that, my favorite points to include in the redesign would be the crown, San Miguel, a basketball, and the consistent red and yellow color scheme. For the sketch, I always start out by writing my keywords. Always. I was heavily inspired by NBA team logos and how they were so solidly built. I wanted to incorporate this in the redesign by creating a badge design instead of just a word mark. So the challenge was incorporating the different elements into a single piece. I decided that to represent San Miguel, I'd use the Archangel's sword and flames beneath it to represent the image of him slaying the devil, to tie back to the gin brand. I also experimented with the wings here and there. The flames beneath the sword would double as a basketball. That was the idea, to still keep the logo's look in line with the organization. The crown would be a staple image on top of the badge to retain the Jin King's title that was well earned. I wanted to keep the strong, boxy typography that the current logo has to remain legibility amongst the images. I decided to go with these 3 sketches and see how I could clean them up along the way. For the digital phase, I started out by choosing a strong, well-built, boxy font to clearly read the Ginebra text. I then began to draw out the crown, ball, and other shapes to visualize the sketches. I drew out the sword and started to play around with the flames. I added some shadows here and there to create some more dimension and depth to the logo. I grouped up all the shapes together, making a single shape, and used the offset path tool to create a nice, thick outline for the badge. I wasn't sure about the color first, but decided to set the logo against a nice dark blackish outline. At this point, I felt like having flames beneath wasn't working too well, so I decided to just cover it up and use a plain basketball instead. Added more black strokes around the crucial parts of the logo to highlight them and define the shapes better. I played around with more shadows and decided to try out adding the flames one more time, but I thought putting them on the basketball itself instead of being a separate element might work out better. Added more shadows, a bit more detailing, and that's it. Or not. Because the more I looked at it, the more I wanted to fix it up. So back to the process. I felt like the red background against the text wasn't working too well and felt a bit too bulky, so I decided to just take it apart. I cleaned up the other elements to make space for the text, especially the San Miguel label. I made better use of the negative space in the text by increasing the height of the G and the A to encase the word barangay text in between. I also redid the crown to create one that was more balanced and with better detail. I retained the fire decal on the ball because I felt it was working really well, like much better than how it started out. At this point, I played around with different color schemes, finding a good balance between the reds and yellows to make it work. I wanted to focus more on the red though, with the yellow as a secondary color just to keep that good contrast. And since Ginebra is known for the red. Again, more changes to the hilt, and I finally started liking a color palette. I put it side by side the logo of the NLEX Road Warriors, which I think is currently the best designed logo in the PBA, to see if they seemed like a fit. And to me, it was looking pretty good. Except the letter A started to bother me, so I changed it up, looked similar to the silhouette of the G, with rounder corners and just following its build. I also decided to add another outline stroke to the badge beside the initial thicker, darker stroke to create a better highlight. I also noticed this with other NBA logos and wanted to apply it here. A simple but effective visual. I added a little more fixes here and there, keeping things aligned, and there you go! So for the mockups, I tried it out on a billboard with a photo of the team's championship back in 2020. I tried it embossed on paper, on an A3 poster, face mask designs, snapback caps, a stitch on a jersey texture, and of course some uniform samples on black, red, and white. I kept these designs close to the team's current color schemes when it comes to their uniforms, and I just wanted to keep it very simple. And yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out. That's it. That was my logo redesign video for Barangay Ginebra San Miguel. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about the design. I did this purely for fun. If I hurt any fans, I'm sorry if maybe some things were not accurate or you didn't like what I created. Let me know. Give me comments down below, or if you have any other themes or maybe logos, brands that you want me to redesign for in the future, put them in the comments below, and let's see what's gonna happen. That's it for me. Thank you. Like, comment, and subscribe for more videos in the future.